A Song Without a Melody, Canto 1, The Scene. I didn't get drawn into the scene, the culture, the counterculture, the movie of the week kind of chaos that emanates from small clubs with numbers for names built around black lights and darkness. I didn't wake up one hazy morning with a blue-black misery from one too many hangovers and whisper, "What happened to me? What have I become?" As if the walls, the air, or my own superficial spirits offered up a care. No, that's not the way it went. Nobody shanghaied me or dragged me kicking and screaming into that AM asylum, that sunset commune lifestyle. I walked in with dignity and ease, head high, eyes forward, notebook in hand. I wanted it, hungered to be a part of it. It spoke to me in my own words. The case with December Lee was something else. A story I never expected to tell, and one perhaps that should never be told. What the hell? Everyone has at least one story that shouldn't be told, and it's the most entertaining. Even now, alone, I can see her dyed black hair dangling down over pale skin, dry lips, yellowish cat's eyes. I can smell after sweat from a good show or a heavy emotional trip. I can feel calloused fingertips from her fretting hand brushing across my cheek or down my back like claws, grabbing for my buttocks in that extra bit of pull. She's a vision and a shadow as much now as then. Times, lives, and personalities have changed, but December's a constant, the same no matter how much she evolves. I certainly didn't expect to spill out all my emotions or flick them away like dying cigarette embers left to flitter to the concrete in some back room after hours. I never planned to fall in love with my work, but why not? That's what it all comes down to. My work took me up. Why shouldn't I have given myself to it entirely, let it maneuver me, instruct me, plot my strategies, and see them carried out? I existed for a headline on the Life page, so why not write a few new pages for my life? December's band Cancer Moon had a gig at Club Zero, Pittsburgh's newest alternative hangout, though of course the owner preferred the term eclectic. Zero was your classic smoke and toke, booze for those with identification, and smoke-filled black light bathrooms filled with peddlers of other less acceptable indulgences for those too young to imbibe. Its newness and rich early business kept the eyes of the city temporarily deflected, or enticed city officials to defer enforcing penalties for ordinance violations and other malaprohibited crimes, so long as they occurred inside and their perpetrators never staggered half-naked out onto the public streets. I'd been to 100 of these during my tenure at the Domestic Chronicle, and when I walked through the front door of this particular cultural niche, nothing surprised me. I took careful note of an energetic crowd expressed as a collage of bohemian believers ranging from the lost and forlorn to the naive and therefore fascinated. Straightening my tie, I smiled. "Welcome home," I mumbled, playing the Hannibal of this foreign land. "You've returned at last." "I need to see some ID," said the serf behind the bar. The request didn't offend me, but I became indignant just the same. "Yeah?" I said, with more cockalorum than a battle-weary Green Beret. "Surely you recognize this face." "Sorry, man," he said, leaning on the bar. Sweat-soaked sandy brown curls draped around his cheeks, sticking to his skin. "Never seen you before in my life. Now show me some identification." I drew my wallet like a pistol and aimed it, shooting from the hip. With calm, practiced leisure, I opened it one-handed to the spot where my driver's license slept in its plastic slot. I held it there for several seconds, making sure that sap saw the sleeve above with my carefully placed press card glowing neon purple under the haze from vast rows of black lights over the bar. 23, he mouthed the word, almost inaudible under blaring techno-pop pouring from man-made mountains of speakers arrayed along each wall. Have a good look, and don't forget, I'm a professional. I will be back. He nodded, raising his hand in a mock salute as if to say, Yes, Your Majesty, as you wish. I grinned, showing purple teeth. After a brief pause, he smiled back. What can I get you? Give me something I've never had before, something I've never heard of. It was an old trick I used to earn free drinks. Good bartenders love guinea pigs. They experiment, playing the mad scientist with different brands of booze. If they find somebody willing to taste their concoctions, 9 times out of 10 they'll respond by making a gift of each. He rubbed his chin with his thumb and forefinger. That's a tough order, he said. How about something I came up with? Ideal, man. It's casual. Go with it. He returned a couple minutes later, holding a styrofoam cup filled with sinister-looking liquid. Thick brown sludge with foam like steamed milk. Drink up. You asked for it. How much? It's on the house. I don't get too many lab rats in here. I grinned like the devil after a good deal. That's cool, I said. What is it? I call it a sausage link. Why? What's in it? He laughed. You don't want to know. Staring at the cup of brown bile, I considered backing out. I couldn't. It'd blow my con. Besides, I'd done worse things. Praise the Lord, I said, and swallowed it all in one gulp. Going down, it tasted like oatmeal flavored with turkey gravy, but the aftertaste was sharp and crisp, almost sweet like a custard pie. Ideal. Now for something more conventional. Give me an absolute screw, make it a stiff one. He appeared content. Nodding emphatically, he said, Sure enough, coming right up. As he went to work, I belched silently and turned to study the crowd. I saw a lot of familiar faces, a lot of clumsy legs dancing, a lot of sullen eyes like mine, searching the room, staring with unfulfilled longing. My kind of people, all of them. They just didn't know it yet. When the bartender returned, I faced him, still flashing what I imagined to be a truly maniacal glare. Accepting my drink, I again asked how much. He waved me off with both hands. This one's on the house too. You're a professional. That's unethical, I replied, and took a hefty sip. Thanks. No problem. He turned and went to serve someone else. No discotheque, this place. The Zero enticed a darker, more somber clientele, covered in 100 different shades of black. They came for the madness, the abyss in which to lose themselves. On the wall behind the bar hung a pseudo-Picasso, more than 6 feet wide, a colorful canvas displaying the twisted, tortured form of a green-skinned Aphrodite, with triangular breasts, spiraling thighs, and bloody teardrops mushrooming out from square eyes, one pink, one orange. This macabre masterpiece could have been a self-portrait of Club Zero, with every element untuned, untamed, and way out of proportion. As if confirming this, a dye-blonde doll, maybe 19, strolled by me with her face blurred by grease paint and clown makeup. In contrast, she dressed her near-perfect figure in a red lace brassiere and matching pair of crotchless panties worn on top of a black spandex bodysuit. She looked at me as she ambled by, offering up a comical smile. Nice outfit, she said, as if I were the clown. I understood. She fit right in, whereas I was out of place. Then again, even my conservative attire didn't blacklist me from any part of the Zero. My persona bought the ticket. My eyes were unrelenting as I watched the clown goddess strut out the front door. They followed her all the way, even as she stopped to flirt with a heavy-set bouncer leaning up against a wall under the neon exit sign. Laughing to myself, I figured he probably was checking to see if she wanted him to stuff her in the back of a crowded Volkswagen with a group of his friends. Crazy world, cool world, an unconventional world. Crazy, cool, unconventional people hanging out in this crazy, cool, unconventional world. I could circle the globe blindfolded and still find my way back here, or somewhere similar in New Jersey, Maryland, or West Virginia. Oblivious to the oblivion of these indulgent excessives, I've strived for that abyss, to stare into it longingly, tranquilly, valiantly, regardless should it stare back into me. I accept the humanity of these black shadows wandering the wastelands of the earth, unconcerned with precedents and politics, dancing in avoidance of the light. A Cheshire grin leads us homeward, wayward, skyward, every which way but the most direct, into the self where we confront our thoughts alone. Far better to make the day on national public radio or in clubs and newspaper columns than to face that same day exposed. Even an individual can lose himself in the masses. I lost myself, offering no complaints. Slamming my drink, I crumpled up the styrofoam and dropped it onto the counter to drip out whatever residue remained. Feeling the call, I crept through the quilted crowd toward the restroom, taking note of all eyes I came into visual contact with. These friendly eyes, these lustful eyes, these hopeless, sad, dispirited eyes, these energetic amber eyes needing no escape, these serpent's eyes, cat's eyes, sorcerer's eyes, the eyes of future family men, funeral directors, and unsuspecting officers of the law already building themselves the criminal pasts that will make the best of cops, the mischievous eyes of plotters and planners, soon-to-be soldiers or underworld attorneys on retainer, the gentle but critical eyes of potential youth league football coaches watching the first sprouts of a budding beer gut, the eyes of maniacs and fanatics, hipsters and wallflowers, dreamers and the objects of dreams. I gazed into them all and knew that they were human eyes, each pair offering insight toward a new tomorrow. I took careful note of them, as always, and continued on my way.